It was Christmas night in Boulder, Colorado. The lights were still glowing, presents still piled under the tree, and the Ramsey family's mansion stood silent in the snow. But inside that peaceful home, something horrifying had already happened.
Oh, hello. I'm JonBenét.
By morning, 6-year-old beauty queen JonBenét Ramsey would be found dead in the basement. Her small body bound, her mouth sealed with duct tape, and her golden curls matted with blood. What began as a holiday celebration turned into one of the darkest mysteries in American history. A ransom note left on the staircase, a missing child, and then the unimaginable discovery all within the same house. No forced entry, no clear suspect. Just a perfect storm of confusion, grief, and suspicion that would tear a family apart and grip the nation for decades. This is the haunting story of JonBenét Ramsey, the little girl whose death changed everything. JonBenét's world in the Ramsey family. JonBenét Patricia Ramsey was born August 6, 1990. Her parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, doted on her. She lived a comfortable life, split between homes in Colorado, Michigan, and Georgia. In Boulder, the Ramsey family resided in an imposing house in a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood. JonBenét participated in child beauty pageants, earning titles and attracting media attention, which would later fuel speculation in her case. Though her pageant life gave her glimpses of fame, at home she was just a child with a brother, Burke, and parents striving to give her safety and love. Neighbors saw a typical family life: dinners, car rides, school days. For many, the Ramseys represented aspiration and stability. That image made what followed all the more tragic. The contrast between her bright pageant smiles and her brutal end is central to the mystery. Some saw a child exploited by fame, others saw a family under impossible pressure. Either way, JonBenét's life was defined by two worlds: the innocence of childhood and the glare of public scrutiny, and both would collide on December 26, 1996. The disappearance, ransom note, and discovery. In the early hours of December 26th, Patsy Ramsey called 911, reporting JonBenét missing and claiming she had found a ransom note demanding $118,000. The note was unusual, long, rambling, full of odd language, and demanding secrecy from law enforcement. The amount requested closely matched John Ramsey's bonus that year, raising eyebrows. A few hours later, John Ramsey and a friend were asked to search the basement. Behind a locked latch door, they found JonBenét's body. She was wrapped in a blanket with duct tape over her mouth, her hands and feet bound, and a cord twisted around her neck. Her skull had been fractured, suggesting a brutal assault before her death. Examination of the crime scene added strange details. There was no clear sign of forced entry. A broken window in the basement was noted, but investigators disagreed on whether it was credible access. Inside the house, investigators found evidence that disturbed rooms had been walked through, and critical areas had been touched before forensic teams arrived. The entire scene was compromised, making it much harder to prove who had done what. Forensic evidence and complications. The autopsy concluded she died of asphyxiation by strangulation and head trauma. Her mouth was taped, her limbs bound, and the method of killing suggested extreme violence. A garrote was fashioned from a cord and part of a paintbrush handle. Some paintbrush remnants appeared in the Ramsey home, though the full piece was never found. Investigators found trace DNA on JonBenét's clothes that did not match any members of the Ramsey family. This unknown male DNA offered hope of an intruder scenario, but the results were inconclusive and complicated by contamination, possible cross-transfer, and the degradation of samples over time. The handling of evidence from the start was deeply flawed. Family members and friends walked through rooms before scenes were sealed. Some doors were left unlocked. The decision to allow John Ramsey to move JonBenét's body further disturbed the scene. Because of these mistakes, questions about the value and integrity of the evidence persist even decades later. Primary theories and suspects. From the earliest days, suspicion split into two main theories: family theory and intruder theory. Some investigators believe the note was staged, suggesting involvement from someone inside the home. Critics point to the Ramsey family's behavior, their apparent inconsistencies, and their hesitation with authorities. Yet the discovery of foreign DNA changed the narrative. In 2008, a district attorney publicly cleared the Ramseys, stating the DNA evidence excluded them. That decision shifted largely toward an intruder hypothesis in many public and investigative circles. Some retired detectives, including Lou Smith, believed an intruder entered through a basement window, carried out the brutal act, and escaped possibly using a suitcase. Other suspects surfaced over the years. In 2006, John Mark Carr confessed after years of claiming his guilt, but DNA testing ruled him out. Various neighbors, acquaintances, past clients of the Ramsey home, and even participants in the pageant world have been examined. None have been charged. No one has been convicted. Media, public reaction, and missteps. From minute one, the case exploded into a media frenzy. Tabloids, news networks, and talk shows dissected every detail from JonBenét's pageant life to the behavior of her parents. The public spectacle shaped the investigation as much as the crime itself. The intense scrutiny arguably pressured law enforcement into early missteps. Crime scene contamination, rushed decisions, and suspicious closed-door deals. Investigators have admitted the handling of the case was hostage to the spotlight. In many ways, the case didn't just reveal a murder. It revealed how fragile justice is under public pressure. Public opinion has been divided. Some believe the parents concealed involvement. Others see them as victims of media hounds. Many believe the truth still lies hidden. For decades, armchair detectives, forums, books, documentaries, and podcasts have weighed in, each theory vying for believers. Recent developments and hope for the future. In recent years, a renewed task force of experts has been assembled to re-examine JonBenét's case using modern forensic techniques and genetic genealogy. They want to apply cutting-edge science to evidence long left dormant. Authorities have said they remain open to new leads, hoping fresh DNA methods can reveal clues previously invisible. The 2024 Netflix series, Cold Case: Who Killed JonBenét Ramsey, reignited public attention by revisiting the original investigation, highlighting mistakes, and interviewing key players. That renewed interest comes with hope and tension that new progress might finally lay to rest decades of speculation and heartache. Meanwhile, the Boulder Police Department continues to emphasize they treat this as an open homicide. They say they receive tips regularly and continue to compare evidence against national databases. The case is far from closed. Conclusion: the murder of JonBenét Ramsey is more than an unsolved crime. It's a wound in the American psyche. A little girl found in her own home, lost in violence and mystery, with her story etched into the public consciousness. The Ramseys, once insiders, became symbols of suspicion and grief. The case exposed how fragile, flawed, and fallible investigations can be, even in the most privileged settings. Today, nearly 30 years later, the questions still outnumber the answers. Who entered that home? Why was a child hidden and murdered? And will science ever reach a point where justice is possible? JonBenét's innocence lives on in those questions. Her murder demands truth, and the drive to discover it refuses to fade. Even after decades, the murder of JonBenét Ramsey continues to haunt investigators, journalists, and ordinary people around the world. Every new clue, every documentary, every whispered theory breathes life back into the tragedy, yet the truth remains buried under layers of doubt and deception. JonBenét's story isn't just about loss, it's about how innocence can vanish in the safest of places, and how justice can remain out of reach even when the whole world is watching. Her name endures as a symbol of unanswered questions, of broken trust, and of a nation's obsession with finding the truth. Before you go, what do you think really happened that night in the Ramsey home? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories that uncover the world's most haunting mysteries.